Right fellas, welcome back to a brand new video. Since picking up my latest Air Cosworth project from Scotland, that was as rough as toast when I picked it up. I've done a lot of work to it trying to get it on the road and I'm still not there. One of the first things we've done was we cleaned the outside, the inside and the underside, fixed the brakes, and on my last couple of videos we're trying to sort the fueling system out because a lot of Sierra Cosworths are catching fire at the minute. So in the last couple of videos we've dropped the fuel tank and the fuel pump, ground off all the rust and treated it with Q-Rust just to stop any rust from coming back in the future. In my last video we also managed to do a cheeky burnout with my other Sierra Cosworth. Right fellas, this here is my new 50 litre Hyundai compressor. I don't know the exact model name. I'll leave something on the screen there. This is a 50 litre and I bought it to do various jobs. I need to do some painting under the cosy and it's no good relying on aerosols. I used aerosols on the 3-door and to be honest I could probably do with, I don't know, it's just aerosols quite thin, like it's like a thin paint. With this you can get like Schultz and all kinds, and a lot of my tools at the minute, like I've got saws and drills and they're all battery powered. So I'm going to rig this up in the garage, then I can use all air powered tools. And you get air powered tools a lot cheaper than battery powered ones. And according to my measurements, this compressor should fit in the rafters out the way. It's no good being on the floor, it'll just get in the way. So I'm going to build a frame, then I'm going to try and lift it up in the rafters and get it out the way. We'll plumb it all in. So let's build a frame and get this hidden and then we'll crack on with it. I'm going to put the compressor up here above my workbench, so it's next to like this socket just here. So we'll measure that. So I'm doing some quick calculations just so I know I'm not wasting any time and the compressor is going to fit exactly where I want it. I've then got some offcuts of wood that I store in the rafters of the garage to make some kind of frame for the compressor to sit on in the rafters. This is a frame I've made to store the compressor in the rafters and it appears to be a perfect fit. That should be strong enough to hold the compressor. Next we took the frame back down because as you can imagine the compressor is quite vibrating when it's running. I'm just trying to get this bang in the middle. There we go. What I'm going to do is I'm going to drill some holes, put some nuts and bolts in to hold it in place so I don't have to worry about the compressor falling on my head when I'm standing at my workbench. Right, let's see if this fits in place like I've measured. Oh, it's snug. Oh yes. Right, so we're going to put the compressor in the rafters. To get it up there, we're going to have to move the staff because I do not want to drop that compressor on the roof of the car. That will cost thousands to fix. So we'll quickly take the axle stand out. It's still a rolling shell, it still rolls fine. So we'll take the axle stands out and we'll move the cars about so we can get some space in case we drop the compressor. All we're going to break is the compressor and probably stint the floor. Now that compressor is super heavy, so while I wait for my mate Phil to turn up to give us a lift to put it in the rafters, let's tell you about the latest app I've been using on my phone called Readly. Readly is a super easy and convenient way to read unlimited amounts of magazines on your phone or tablet. You can even go back to previous magazines from years ago and catch up on all the ones you've missed. With Readily, you can download all the magazines on your phone or tablet, so you don't need internet or Wi-Fi to catch up on the latest magazine. There is a huge selection of magazines from celebrities, puzzles, crafts, history. I've even set up an account for my 7-year-old daughter, and she's enjoying reading about animals in a child-friendly magazine. Some of the magazines that have caught my eye are Classic Ford, Fast Ford and Retro Ford. Thanks to Readily, I've been able to catch up on a past issue of Fast Ford magazine, and I've been reading the YB Survival Guide. It's basically how to diagnose and solve problems with the YB engine. And without Readily, I wouldn't have been able to read that past issue of the magazine. Download and get started with Readily now by clicking the link in the description of this video and get yourself a whopping 2 months for free. Right, now I think I can hear my mate Phil pulling up outside, so let's open the door and let him in. So now my mate Phil's here. We've put the frame in the rafters, then we're going to lift the compressor up onto the frame and bolt it in place so it can't fall on my head. I'm using some M12 bolts with some big washers so it can't go anywhere in the future. Right, we've got the compressor up, it's in place. I'm just putting some nuts and bolts to hold it in place so as it's vibrating it doesn't like fall off. There's that fastened up. I need to order some pipes and get it all plumbed in properly, but for now the compressor is up, secure and out the way, and it's not on my garage floor, which is what I wanted. So let's crack on with the next job while I order some bits for that. Now the next job we need to do is we need to sort this rust hole out. Can you see it here? Like it's maybe, I don't know, it's maybe about 4 inches long, but the trouble we might have is that the metal might be thin all the way along. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut it out, have a go at welding it. If it goes wrong, what I'm going to do is you can buy a panel to replace like all the way along here. So if it goes massively wrong, I will just buy a new panel and have a go putting a new panel in. But for now, I need to practice me welding. So what we're going to do is, like I say, we're going to cut some of this out. We'll put masking tape on, we'll draw a shape on, and we'll cut that out and see if we can weld it up. Let's get some masking tape and we'll stick it on where we're going to cut, or somewhere around there. I don't know, we'll figure it out as we go. I'm not sure if this is how the professionals would do it, but all I'm doing is I'm just putting some masking tape on. I can then draw on the masking tape and cut out around the line. Right, that's masked up, so let's draw some lines on of where we're going to cut. We'll draw a line, straight line about there. So that's what we're going to cut there. Now, like I say, if this goes wrong, I'll pay a professional to redo it. And to be honest, if I keep the car, I will be getting like all the underside done, so I will get this bit done anyway. This is purely to get on the road and to give us a bit of practice. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try and lose my weld in the radius of the bend. So I'm going to try and keep it all like a flat, perfectly flat replacement piece of steel. So to chop that bit out what we're going to weld, I'm going to use a Dremel with some steel grinding cutting discs. I'll leave a link to everything I use in the description of the video in case you're interested. But that should just fit into there. I'm also going to put on all my PPE. Breathing mask, stop the dust, goggles, e-defenders, and I'm going to put some gloves on to keep my fingers. And I'm going to put some gloves on to keep my fingers safe. Right, let's go. So this is what we've chopped out, and this is what we need to fix. I've tried to straighten the edges up on the car where I've tried to file it and that, but this is what we need to reproduce. I'll take the tape off. So that is what we've chopped out, and that is what we need to fix. So let's head over to the bench and see if we can make something like that looks like this. So we've got a bit of cardboard. We're going to draw the shape roughly what we need. We'll get the shape in the cardboard, then we'll cut it out on the steel. So let's start off by cutting a straight line. Like that. Then we'll cut a straight line here. Like that. So we'll draw a line there. We'll go a bit bigger all the way around. Then we'll trim the cardboard down to about there. Let's check this bit of cardboard on the car, see if we're nearly at the right size, then we can trim it down to suit. We want about 4mm off all the way around. That is about right, so let's cut this out of some steel. Now unfortunately, the only steel I got is part of a Nova boot floor, so don't be upset with us for putting Vauxhall steel on a Ford. I'm sure it's all the same in some universe somewhere. So let's cut this out of a Nova boot floor. So I'm happy with the fit of this panel what I've made, like this little patch. But one thing we need to do is, or what I'm going to try is, I'm going to try and put the hole that's missing out of this. And if you look, it's kind of, the hole's got like it's like a radius edge. It's not like just a hole that kind of like bevels up. So I've got an idea. So let's see if I can reproduce it on me part here. Worst case is, I'm at a balls of it and I've got to cut a new bit. So let's have a go and see what we can do. So under my workbench, I've got a pillar drill. And it's got about the right size drilling we need to do the hole in the new bit. So let's fire this up and see what we can do. So when you're drilling on a pillar drill, you must be careful, because if the drill bit gets hold of your sheet of steel, it'll literally start spinning, it'll slice your hand open. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grip this in some mole grips. Then I can keep my fingers out the way and hopefully keep all 10 till tomorrow at least. Right, we've got the hole in the replacement panel. So what we need to do now is try and get like the beveled edge. I'll zoom in, see if you can see. Can you see how that hole kind of has like a wall on it? It's not like fully flat. So in my toolbox here, for some years I've had a ball bearing. This is what I've got. I've got a 19mm socket. This ball bearing fits in quite rattly. We'll put the ball bearing on there, then we'll put that socket under, and I'm going to try hitting it with a hammer, see if it works. Worst case is I'll just have to remake this bit and leave the hole out. Honestly, it hasn't turned out too bad. There's the rusty original here. I'll zoom in so you can see. Can you see? There's the one I've just done. Now let's be honest, right? Nobody is ever going to see this until it gets replaced. When I eventually, like if in the future I get the underneath blasted and properly done, then I'll put a new leg on. But for now, that has turned out not bad for something that nobody is ever going to see. So let's fire up the welder and see if we can stick it in place without melting holes in my car. If you're doing any welding on your car, you must remove the ECU or you'll fry it. Apparently, that's what I'm told. If you're interested in what kind of welder I'm using, it's an Artec Mig 180, and if you want to see the unboxing of this welder, I'll leave a link to the video in the description. Now I must admit, I am quite nervous. I've got the welder turned right down to minimum. We'll start with like one little spot and see how we get on. Let's go for it. Right, now keep in mind fellas, I am not a professional working on cars, so if you see something I'm doing wrong, leave something in the comments and let us know how I can do it better. I am purely just a fella in the garage having a go. When I'm welding here, I'm just doing little tacks and I'm joining each new tack to the old tack, so I'm kind of stacking them on top of each other. I am over the moon with how this welder's turned out. This is like my second or third time ever welding on a car. But like they say, you don't have to be a good welder, you just got to be good with a grinder. So let's crack the grinder out and make this weld look a bit more presentable in case anybody sees it. So I'm over the moon with how this patch has turned out. It's only my second ever time patching a car up. I'll give it a quick linish back. I'm absolutely buzzing with it. I'm going to give it a quick lick of paint just to stop it rusting, and I'm just going to quickly file some of the edges just to neaten it up a bit, even though it is going to get covered in underseal and no one's ever going to see it because the petrol tank will cover it, and if anyone does see it, the petrol tank will be off and hopefully it'll be getting a new leg on. But I'll give it a quick file, then I'll give it a quick lick of paint. So now I'm going to give it a quick coat of some zinc spray to stop the rusting until we find out what I'm using on the underside. So now that primer's dried, I'm going to give it a quick coat with some of this spray paint. I got it from Lidl. It's by Parkside. It was about £3.50 a tin, and it's really good stuff. Or it seems it anyway. So I'll give it a quick coat of some black just to hide it a bit for now. Now keep in mind, I am by far a professional with cars. My full-time job is not working on cars, but I'm over the moon with how that has turned out. If you've got any hints, tips or advice, please leave something in the comments. But yet again, thanks for watching and I'll catch you on the next video.